It's Keshi with Somebody on 987, Singapore's #1 hit music station. It's Nicole right here keeping you company. And welcome back to the show. I'm sure you know by now that mental health is a very important topic to me. And we welcome a lot of meaningful conversations surrounding that in this space. So today we have a very special guest. Please welcome Joseph Quek from Talk Your Heart Out.
Hello everyone, my name is Joseph. I'm very happy to be here. Thanks for having me here in this show.
Absolutely. Pleasure to have you with us today. Now, Joseph is a professional counselor at a local-based online counseling platform called Talk Your Heart Out. So going into a brand new year, I really want to ask Joseph for some tips regarding mental wellness. So we know that these past couple years have been very difficult living in this pandemic. And obviously, we've seen a rise in mental health concerns. So from a professional standpoint, what do you think are some common issues of mental wellness?
So I think over the past few years, ever since COVID started, I've been seeing quite a lot of young adults, youth struggling with mental wellness issues. And there is a rise of issues such as self-esteem. So increasingly people having struggles with self-esteem, comparing themselves with their peers, having like imposter syndrome, when they go into a big organization, they do not know how they fit in. Many of them have a lot of anxiety, worry about their future, because the COVID situation has been here with us for so long, right? And there seems to be no end. And, with the latest virus, people are feeling more and more anxious and uncertain about what is ahead of them.
Yeah.
And a lot of the young ones also experience new emotions. I think one of them are like languishing, right?
Yes.
I think this is a word that we heard a lot this year and last year as well. And cabin fever, being cooped up, stuck at home.
Yeah.
This feeling of emptiness, stagnation, and all this leads to poor mental health, right? All this leads to them feeling all these symptoms of mental health issues like depression, anxiety, so on and so forth.
What would you say is the most common age range facing mental health issues?
For the age range, I've been seeing quite a lot of secondary school students all the way to working adults, even in the age of maybe, if I could give an age range, maybe 16, 13, all the way to maybe about 35, in the areas of young adults and youth, so quite diverse group of people, and they experience quite different challenges and issues as well through these past 2 years. Yeah.
What are the most common ones that you have seen so far?
First is work, school stresses.
Yeah.
For a lot of students, a lot of young adults, when there's this uncertainty, there's this upcoming assignments, exams, presentation that's coming up, in the past, we can gather in groups to study. We can gather, at Starbucks, maybe at, local coffee shop to, work through the project together. But now, we can't gather in big groups, right? So that lack of that community itself is affecting a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure.
And, a lot of times working from home or studying from home, causes a lot of stress as well, especially if there's lack of space, right?
Yes.
If you are a student and you are not living in a big space, I have some students, maybe they are staying in like a 2-room flat, and they have 5 people in the house. It's very, very hard for them to focus. Studying from home, right? So all this attributes to a lot of stresses and anxiety. And, when you can't keep up with the schoolwork, when you can't keep up with the assignments, that adds an additional layer of stress.
Yeah,
right?
For sure. So what are some tips that we can do to alleviate the stress and anxiety that we feel at this moment?
First of all, we need to be aware of how we are feeling.
Yes.
We need to be aware of what are we experiencing in that day itself. And I think a lot of times as Singaporeans, we don't talk about our emotions.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
When we grow up, we hardly talk about how we feel. And if you ask someone, how are you feeling? The most common answer that you get is, okay.
Yeah.
Normal, like that.
Yeah.
Right? So even though we may be struggling, but we do not know how to articulate how we are feeling.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
We need to, I think, first be aware,
Yes.
of how we are feeling. Talk about it. be open to tell a loved one, I'm feeling stressed, I'm feeling anxious, like coming here, right? I'm feeling anxious, and I tell my girlfriend about it, and I told her, I'm feeling very, very anxious about this, not sure how it goes, but sometimes just naming the emotion itself, talking it out, is the first step.
Yes,
right?
yes. Be vulnerable.
Be vulnerable. And that's when you can connect with people, you can reach out. And once you are aware, that's when you can be more intentional, right? Be intentional to reach out, be intentional to seek for help, be intentional to talk to people, be intentional to navigate your own emotions, right? And this thing that I always tell people is that there's no good or bad emotions. All emotions are data, right? They are telling us that we have certain needs that are unfulfilled. They are telling us that we have certain things that we have not achieved. And if we tune into our emotions, if we navigate through our emotions, we can harness some of these emotions, what they're telling us, to good use, right?
Yes.
And processing it. So, for example, if we are feeling that stagnation, that emptiness, maybe what it's telling us is that why not we talk to someone? Why not we reach out? Why not we, just call someone or arrange a meal and just get together with someone?
Yeah. That's the first step to helping ourselves, right? Is to be vulnerable and be open to sharing our emotions. So, Joseph, do you have any tips for students? Because I think a lot of young people are tuning in right now. They're still in school. How do we overcome stress when it comes to preparing for major exams, studying for tests?
Yeah, I think it's important to understand that a lot of these stresses comes from within, right? When you talk about school stresses, when you talk about exams or upcoming even work or assignments that that we need to do, right? A lot of times it comes with this expectation that is from within, right? And when we make certain mistakes in the past, we become very unkind towards ourselves, or unforgiving towards ourselves, right? So the next time when we meet the same problem again, we might tell ourselves, I got to work harder, I should have done this, I should have done that, and all this expectation then cause a lot of us feeling that worry, the anxiety, and the anxiousness itself, right? So I think more importantly, it's something that, I always advocate, is that we need to learn how to forgive ourselves.
Yes.
We need to learn how to love ourselves. Right? And this is something that I think as Singaporeans we need to do more, because a lot of times when we go to work or we go to school and we make a mistake, we blame ourselves, we beat ourselves to it, and that's when we end up not wanting to seek help, not wanting to talk to people, and a lot of times that's when people then fall into that spiral, and isolating themselves further and further away.
Yeah, definitely. I've been in that position before. I did something wrong in school or work, and then I go back and I keep thinking about it, keep replaying it in my head, ruminating and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's like it's not doing anything for my mental health. In fact, I am going down, like you said, in this spiraling into this rabbit hole, which is really unhealthy. Well, we've got more to ask Joseph right after this, so be sure to keep it locked right here. For now, though, it's back to the hits with Sazari, Full on 987. Post Malone featuring The Weeknd with One Right Now on 987, Singapore's #1 hit music station. And now we are back with Joseph from Talk Your Heart Out, who's been giving us loads of mental health tips. So branching off into self-esteem and social comparison, I wanted to ask you, Joseph, what's your take on that, and how can we, prevent ourselves from comparing to other people, because that could affect our mental wellness?
I think all of us have different reference point when it comes to happiness itself. And what I mean is that, when we first start, working, we get this salary and we feel happy about it, but as time progresses, this reference point shifts, right? We begin to feel unsatisfied. We want more, right? And we feel that, we deserve more. And that's when we, maybe at the start we are satisfied, we are happy, but as time progresses, that's when, that reference point shifts.
Yes.
And we start to feel all that emotions, all that intense emotion itself. Right? So it's important to then go back to the start. Go back to maybe why you take up that job or why you take up that course in the first place. Right? Go back to that reference point and ask yourself, what is really best for me? What do I really want? What is my ideal? right? Because all of us, we have that in mind. We all have that ideal what is best for us, right? And if we just go back and tune in and listen to ourselves, a lot of times when we're in this state, we talk to people, we listen to other people's advice, and we become very confused.
Yeah.
And we are stuck and we do not know what to do. I have clients telling me, in the past, they have been listening to people, and now they are older, they do not know how to make decisions. Right?
Yeah.
So then it's relearning how to find that source of happiness, what truly makes me happy, right? What truly are the things that bring joy to me, right? Because we live our own life, right? And I think, going back to earlier point about loving ourselves is we're also learning to be our own best friend.
Calls for a lot of self-reflection and asking us maybe a little bit of some difficult questions. Yeah, but really tuning inwards and asking ourselves the big whys, why we want to do this, why we feel this way, and starting from the beginning. And oh my gosh, talking to you, it feels like I am in a counseling session.
Yeah, our why is actually very important. Young adults, youth are struggling with this question, why? Finding our purpose.
Yes.
Right? Because knowing our why will then help us to navigate our what to do.
Yeah.
And, every year we set New Year resolution, we set goals, thinking about what we want to do. Yes. But we don't really think about why. Why do we want to do those things?
Yeah.
Right? And if we go back, and we might find that joy again and that motivation to go forward. Sometimes it's really I think learning to slow down.
Yes.
We need to slow down, and we need to learn to just be mindful. We just learn how to be more aware of how we are feeling, how, what are our thoughts, what have we been going through the past few months or the past few years.
Yeah.
Love yourself and then move forward again. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, of course, we're literally days away from 2022. So, Joseph, what do you think are some good habits that we can start developing to start the new year with positive energy?
When we talk about habits, it's important to know a bit neuroscience about habits, right? So that we can cultivate good habits that can last, right? First of all, right, every habit that we develop over time, it meets a certain needs, right?
Okay.
That also implies to bad habits. So we all need to meet different needs itself. So for example, like when we wake up, we check on our social media, right? Why do we do that? Because we want to feel connected to people. We want to find out what is happening around us.
Okay.
There's a certain need that we need to fulfill.
Yeah.
So some of them are psychological, such as hunger. We go and when we wake up, we brush our teeth, make breakfast, drink coffee. So I think it's important to, first of all, understand the habits that we are doing. What needs is it serving? Right? What needs are those meeting itself? Right? And if we want to change or adopt new habits or new behaviors itself, right, we need to first then choose one habit and make a inventory list on what this habit is meeting and what other ways could meet those needs.
Interesting. Okay.
So, for example, right, if I wake up and I check my phone and I scroll through social media and end up going to my work late or going to school late, right, that is not helping me.
I see.
What can I do? I can change that by maybe, going to take my breakfast and going to school or going to workplace and intentionally spend time to connect with people.
Yeah.
So that helps me to meet my needs of connecting with people. So if we want to adopt new habits, right, we need to start at the start of the day.
Right. So right after we wake up.
Right after we wake up, take our breakfast, maybe think about what can we do. So that's when you hear a lot of people talking about start off the day with gratitude journal, writing down what you are thankful for, right? Or start off with the day of just practicing mindfulness or practicing yoga, right? So those habits then help us to then improve our mental well-being, improve our state of our mind, our emotional well-being itself.
I see. Not gonna lie, Joseph, speaking to you feels like I'm in a counseling session. Feels very therapeutic. But yes, going back to the beginning, of course, Joseph, you are a professional counselor over at Talk Your Heart Out. Can you tell us a little bit more about the platform?
So Talk Your Heart Out is an online counseling platform. So we do online counseling, includes like video chats. For some people, they may not want to turn on the camera to talk. They could, turn off the camera, talk through an audio on Zoom. We also do live chats where we talk to them via chat functions and through Skypes. Yeah, we also do individual counselings, couple counselings as well. Basically, any types of counseling that you're looking for, I think we all have it there.
Awesome. If you want to find Joseph, you want to know more about Talk Your Heart Out, be sure to go check out their information on their website at talkyourheartout.com. And once again, thank you so much, Joseph, for your time. You've given us loads of useful mental health tips. I'm sure we'll put them to good use to ring in the new year.
Thank you.
Going back to the hits for now, we've got Rita Ora, Your Song on 987.
I woke up with a fear this morning.